Right behind me, as you see over my shoulder there, is Saul's Mound. I'll explain a little more information about that here to you in a little bit. This state park is about a 2-hour drive east of Memphis, Tennessee. It's about 2.5 miles from the town of Pinson itself. This site got its name from a surveyor who discovered and documented this site back in 1820. His name is Joel Pinson. This site is 1,200 acres, which is about 1.8, give or take, square miles. More than 400 of that 1,200 acres are taken up by the mounds themselves. So basically, a third of this site, of these 1,200 acres, is actually had mounds on it. Some conjecture that this was a Hopewell civilization. Others conjecture it might even be an Adena. These mounds were considered mostly ceremonial over here. And I'll explain to you in a minute, the western section had some burial mounds in there as on that site over there. There were conjectured there were 32 mounds at one time, whether it be platform or the conical type. Now today there's roughly about 15 of them left, and most of those were lost due to the agricultural farming that was going on here over the thousands of years. As I mentioned a little bit ago, this was divided up. There is an eastern section or eastern citadel, an inner section or inner complex, and a western section. Here's some information about the inner complex. Saul's Mound, mound number 9, which is right behind me, came from the owner of the property, John Sauls. It's a rectangular in size. It's about 72 feet tall, 366 feet long, and about 300 feet at its base. That's longer than the length of a football field, including the end zones. Over there, Mound 10, which is just to the right of us here, my right, your left, is Mound 10. That's a platform mound. It's about 4 foot in height and has it's about 200 by 131 feet at its base. So the eastern section is the biggest from what I understand, and here you have the inner complexes, which Saul's Mound sits on right here. Speaking of the eastern section, there's a lot of information here on this. So the eastern section contains an enclosure, like a wall, that's nearly a mile long. In some aspects, some places it probably averaged about 5 foot in height. It has rectangular platforms, and at one time It was thought to have a bird effigy mound on it, but then they discovered later that they changed their mind on that conclusion. Over in the western section is the Ozier Mound, O-Z-I-E-R, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. There's quite a few mounds over there. The Ozier Mound is a rectangular platform mound. Its height was 33 feet and was about 260 feet in diameter. Twin mounds, which are a few yards away from the Ozier, actually has a double conical mound on it. It is one of the few of this type in the U.S. Its base is 100 by 164 feet. There were 6 tombs discovered in it, and with them was 8 women in them, along with a tomb with 4 older men in it. They uncovered a single mound burial tomb also. Now, Mound 31 over in that area is a few yards away from the Ozier. It is a burial mound, and its base is 130 by 200 feet. So as you can tell, of this 1,200 acres, it's massive. Also, there was an area called the Cochrane area, which is about 650 feet or so away from the Ozier Mound over there in the western part of this complex. There's some conjecture there was a temporary habitation area, but due to the development site of the area, that site is gone. The Pinson site here is listed on the National Register of Historic Places and became a Tennessee State Park in 1974. There's a 450 square foot museum here at this site, which includes an archaeological library, an 80-seat theater, and what they call a discovery room for historical exploration. Quite a few trails around here, and along with all of them associated basically with the mounds themselves. There is little information about the size of the skeletons that they discovered here. So this is the Pinson site, and you're looking right there at Saul's Mound. I'll be giving you some more shots and information about Saul's Mound here in a little bit, along with the eastern part of this site. Bring the camera around here. So now we're facing east. That building right there in front of you, you're looking at the back part of the museum. Very interesting. Looks like a tunnel in there. Very helpful people inside there, very knowledgeable. They have artifacts inside there. An entrance just like that one sits at the other end of that mound there, building, and there's a parking lot over there too. Right now I'm here in what is called the eastern citadel, or eastern section of this site here. You're looking at mound number 10. Over to the right is mound 9, or Saul's Mound. Let me see if I can zoom in on that for you. See it there at the top, you see that little observation deck there? Sometimes words cannot describe the vastness of these sites. Now there's a mound right there, very small. One right there. You probably, I don't know if you can pick that up. There, screen or not, or TV. But there used to be many, many more mounds around here. But due to agricultural farming, it's all been pretty much leveled. Right straight ahead, you can see the rise there. Doesn't look like it, but there's your mound. Was called 28. And right back in there, can't see it from here, is the geometric earthwork. There is a circle that's roughly, I think it's 1,200 feet, I believe it is, an area back there. This is on the extreme eastern side of this site, of the eastern citadel. How many mounds were over here before they were destroyed through farming? Nobody's not completely sure. Here is Osier Mound. On the other side of that building there would be the two twin mounds I mentioned earlier. So here is Osier Mound. It's the second largest mound on this site. Right down this road right here is the entrance to it. This part of this section of the site. Right over here, I'm on the western part of this site, in the western section. Right there are the twin mounds. If the trees had all their leaves on it, it'd be hidden. See those?